saying it on your show for a year. I believe, I'm going to say it in front of the camera, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to come back on your show. You give me crow, make sure it's halal, put some salsa in it, and I'll eat it. There you go.
You'll be getting full.
Kamala Harris is going to win. The X factor is going to be women, independents, Republicans voting against Trump, and people of color.
I can't wait to see the follow-up episode. So
Megyn Kelly is about to destroy woke pundit Wajahat Ali, who is partially responsible for the liberal hive mind that has led to the countless breakdowns that we've been seeing on TikTok and X from the liberal side, who actually thought Kamala Harris had a chance at winning, who is now blaming misogyny as the reason why Donald Trump won and Kamala Harris didn't. For the reason why Donald Trump won the popular vote and Kamala Harris didn't. Now let's check it out.
let's talk about the Kamala Harris ground game, because this is very interesting. Like, what happened? What happened to the vaunted ground game? My team pulled this great soundbite of Wajahat Ali, leftist commentator on CNN and other channels. This is the same guy, the audience knows the clip by now, who's in the Don Lemon clip with Rick Wilson, like, them the Republicans, making fun of the way they talk, like as if the Republicans would be sitting there going, those Democrats with their maps and like their books. That was them.
And for those that don't know, aren't aware, haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and play that clip real quick.
He also knows deep in his heart that Donald Trump couldn't find Ukraine on a map if you had the letter U and a picture of an actual physical crane next to it. He knows that this is, an administration defined by ignorance of the world. And so that's partly him playing to their base and playing to their audience, the credulous boomer Rube demo that backs Donald Trump, that wants to think that Donald Trump's the smart one and y'all elitists are dumb.
You elitists with your geography and your maps and your spelling, even though
your math and your reading.
Yeah, you're reading, your geography, knowing other countries, sipping your latte.
All those lines on the map.
Only them elitists know where Ukraine is. Sorry, I apologize.
Isn't it glorious knowing that Don Lemon was fired shortly after that? And hit that like and subscribe button if you like content like this. Now back to Megyn Kelly.
So for the audience, that's who you're about to hear, a guy who looks at the right half of the country that way. And here he was. What show was he on, Steve? Was it Piers Morgan? Yeah, he was on Piers. Watch. This is before on election day.
The rage of women is going to be felt tomorrow, Piers. I've been saying it on your show for a year. I believe, I'm going to say it in front of the camera, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to come back on your show. You give me crow, make sure it's halal, put some salsa in it, and I'll eat it. There you go.
You'll be getting full.
Kamala Harris is going to win. The X factor is going to be women, independents, Republicans voting against Trump, and people of color.
I can't wait to see the follow-up episode. So what do you say to him, Ashley? How did he get it so wrong?
Oh, he was so wrong. The righteous rage of women came from women who voted against Kamala Harris because, like I said in the beginning, you can't ask what is a woman and literally put women in the most unsafe positions over the course of your entire administration and then think they're going to show up and support you. In fact, women were so upset, and many women, I think like you, Megyn, and myself, we're voting for our kids. We're voting for their future. And just voting against the complete lunacy of the garbage that they're trying to put in our schools, that they're trying to indoctrinate our children with, it's disgusting. And
I believe the women voted against the left basically because the left made the mistake in assuming that women regularly lie to their husbands, that they're actually against their husbands, that they're against their dads, that they're against their children who are boys, and they were just completely wrong. The left completely went way too far left to the fringe, and, that was a contributing factor to why Kamala Harris lost the popular vote to Donald Trump in 2024. Glory be to God.
It's absolutely hilarious that this is how out of touch the elites are versus the real American people. They have no clue what's going on. We heard for months throughout the summer into the fall that she had a ground game. It was going to be this amazing ground game. I was getting reports. So our canvassers were paid door knockers. That was their job, was to go knock door to door. I get reports every day and every week. And when I read those reports, we weren't seeing them on the ground until after Labor Day in some places. Like in Michigan, they sent 2 guys to Dearborn, and they were there for maybe a week and left. We just didn't see them. Maybe they were there and we were in different routes or different streets, but their ground game did not exist. So I don't know what their feedback loop was.
The other issue that we read was helpful to you. I mean, obviously economy and immigration, and then we talked about the trans thing, was the stolen valor allegations against Tim Walz.
Yeah. We saw veterans show up very early, very quickly. We did canvass and did text messaging to veterans, but usually in these types of races and presidential races, the VP is somewhat irrelevant. But Tim Walz was the goofiest choice. I still don't understand how I think she got stuck with him because Shapiro and Kelly didn't want to hitch their wagon to her, to be quite honest. But Tim Walz was so goofy, and he lied. And the media, CNN especially, gaslit the American people again about his service, made people feel bad for questioning his title, his rank. He did not earn that rank. He was supposed to finish his school, yet he continued to use it and used it throughout the campaign. That's insulting. He also said he was deployed. I'm a Marine wife. That man was never deployed into combat. And the flips of him trying to load a shotgun was hysterical. He doesn't even know how to unload his gun. And then you have JD Vance, who actually has served his country, who is, a great Catholic man who's served honorably. And you have such a strong contrast between the two of them. That was a slam dunk for us.
It's amazing, especially in a day and age when we're lamenting how woke the military is, to have this guy touting his own military service, which he falsified in large part. He served, but his title he falsified, and whether and where he served became an issue as well. And super woke, right? I mean, as woke as they come. Yeah. Transing kids in Minnesota who don't even live there, who seizing custody from parents who actually live out of state, not to mention tampon Tim in the bathrooms. I'm sure those military members who are sick of this woke military understood exactly what they'd be getting if they had 4 more years of a Democrat administration, including the likes of Tim Walz in it. So that's very interesting too. Can we spend a minute on the Iowa poll? We're back on the lies being put out. We talked about how women, they're surging in Pennsylvania. That Iowa poll had a lot of Republicans rattled. It was concerning. It was like, red state Iowa, she's up 3. Holy smokes. When you saw that, what did you think?
We knew something was wrong, so we immediately started looking at it. The early vote, there was a 9-point advantage for conservatives. Our voter registration gap was massive. It was very much, I think, a tactic to maybe distract conservatives or try to distract conservatives from what was actually happening. And what was happening was she was just getting absolutely creamed in Iowa. That poll also does not have any transparency. You couldn't really see any of the crosstabs, but just based on the early vote and the voter registration, President Trump had a massive advantage in Iowa. There was no question whatsoever. So
my opinion on what that poll was trying to accomplish was when and if they were able to pull off a Kamala Harris win, they were going to refer back to this poll in Iowa that's traditionally deep red, deep for Trump. They're going to say, look, even in Iowa, she gained so much ground. And that is a reflection of how it spread across the country. Look at Iowa. It's the main one. And if she gained ground in Iowa, of course she were to gain ground everywhere else, right? But thankfully, Laura Trump had boots on the ground, over 250,000 poll watchers. She had countless amounts of attorneys to basically prevent and attack every single little anomaly as it popped up, especially in the swing states on election day, that prevented people from getting out there and being able to vote from the polling positions. And so this was a collaborated effort amongst a lot of people on the right. Laura Trump and company heading up the RNC, Scott Pressler moving to Pennsylvania and registering Republicans for at least a year. I'm not sure exactly how long he was doing that, but I know he registered so many Republicans that even Bucks County had eventually more Republicans registered than Democrats, and Trump won that county. Those things and more, combined with the fact that the left went so radically left and ran on fringe ideas like last-minute abortion, men and boys and girls sports, public funds for transitioning people in prison, open borders, stolen valor, so many of these things and more, right? So all these things combined was a recipe for success for Donald Trump to take back the White House. I'm looking forward to seeing him be inaugurated and take over and start fixing things on day one, which we're already starting to see some reflections in the Bitcoin markets, the stock markets. Hamas has called for a ceasefire over in Israel, apparently. Lots of things already lining up to be way more beneficial for the American taxpayer, for the American citizen. And I love it. We're here for it. That's why we're America first. We love all Americans. And if you are too, you're in the right place. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, come visit me Wednesdays and Saturdays at 6 and 8 o'clock and be a part of the conversation where I go live. But if I don't see you there, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.